A bipartisan effort to restore the Coast Guard's presence at a local station. Congressman Dan Kildee and Congresswoman Lisa McClain are sending a letter to the United States Coast Guard urging them to ensure Station Saginaw River in Essexville can continue conducting search and rescue operations to keep mid-Michigan safe. The letter is in response to the Coast Guard's nationwide reorganization plan, which for stations like the one in Essexville has shifted equipment and personnel away. TV5's James Felton joins us in the studio after speaking with Congressman Kildee. James.
In their letter to the Coast Guard, Congressman Kildee and Congresswoman McClain are asking the USCG to respond with details on their plan to coordinate with local first responders and its plan to restore its presence at the station Saginaw River.
We know that they're under pressure. We just want to make sure they understand what a priority it is to make sure that we have the best available search and rescue equipment and personnel for the Saginaw Bay.
Congressman Dan Kildee talking about a letter he co-wrote with Congresswoman Lisa McClain, who represents Michigan's thumb to the United States Coast Guard. The letter is part of their bipartisan effort to ensure safety on the Saginaw Bay. As we've reported, the Coast Guard station in Essexville has become a scheduled mission station. Coast Guard members work there for 40 hours a week. The Coast Guard will still respond to emergencies, but help may originate from other areas like Tawas, Traverse City, or Detroit, depending on the type of call.
Like the larger search and rescue boat, for example, shifting it away from the Saginaw Bay, it puts us in a position of having to rely on the Tawas station or the Detroit station, or as we saw over the weekend, rely on local fire department in order to respond to these cases.
Kildee is referring to this Facebook post from Kakalin Fire Rescue Station, who needed the help of two local charter captains to rescue two people whose boat was sinking in Lake Huron. According to the post, the Saginaw River Coast Guard station wasn't in service, and the Coast Guard responding from Tawas did not give a time of arrival. For her part, McClain released a statement saying in part that the Coast Guard's mission is to protect those on the water, but this decision by the USCG leaves us with serious concerns about whether they can adequately fulfill that mission. Lives are at stake.
Representative Lisa McClain and I both represent the critical areas involved here. So we want to work together on this and really find a solution. We understand the pressure they're under, but what we want to do is enter into conversation with them so that we can hear from them what they plan to do to not be in a position that could result in the potential loss of life.
We did reach out to the Coast Guard for comment. In a statement, the Coast Guard said in part that it continues to experience difficulties arising from past recruiting challenges, which have resulted in workforce shortages that impact frontline operations and service readiness. While the Coast Guard cannot maintain past readiness levels for all units, it has adapted its operational posture to provide a predictable response to life-saving missions, national security, and protection of the marine transportation system in accordance with its mission requirements. These adjustments are temporary. Reporting in the studio, James Felton, WNEM TV5.
All right, thank you, James. And the Coast Guard also tells TV5 they're grateful for the cooperation of their mid-Michigan first responder partners, as well as the partner agencies along the Great Lakes.